Hello friends, this is the second lecture on Mathew Arnold. Yet we are in the introduction stage. As a religious thinker, he was very much interested in and supported the biblical virtues. Biblical virtues. So that is, he vehemently argued, what is biblical virtues mainly? You can say in a nutshell, but the gist of biblical virtues is love your neighbor as yourself. Isn't it? That's all. What else is there? And it is actuated or artistically explained in that beautiful narration of the Good Samaritan. How the journey and how the two people, they pass by the wounded person and then another person comes there, and all those things are so touching. Even now if you look at that. So that is biblical virtues. What else is biblical virtues? Yes. So he vehemently argued for that. He said Hebraism. He said, what is Hebraism? Self-control, respect for law and order, love for your neighbor. That's absolutely necessary for harmonious perfection and a complete development of human spirit. At the same time, you should not think that he was not against Hellenism. That is, worldly matters, physical exercise, eating and drinking moderately. Remember that rule, golden rule of Aristotle, golden mean, virtus stat in media, these things already we have seen. Now as a critic, he was influenced by Saint-Beuve, the French critic. He set himself with brilliant success, along with him, his ideas also, to break new grounds. A path-breaking critic, you can say. He was a path-breaking critic. New grounds in English criticism. Poetry, real estimate of poetry. Poetry, criticism of poetry should not be directed or colored by historic or personal considerations, but it should be the poet, the work of art, and nothing more than. And then he speaks of, this is the introduction again, then he speaks of England, his England. England was in a mess. Mathew Arnold's England was in a mess, chaos, and anarchy had gripped all walks of life. There was industrial revolution, immense commercial prosperity, Philistines, greedy people. Yes. Then there was assured self-complacency. When you have got plenty of money, what will happen? There is assured self-complacency. That is, you are okay, that's me. We are okay because we have got plenty of money. And science opening up, science a kind of, we can say that science and religion, so to say. There's always that conflict, science and religion. Religion teaches you to believe everything, but science asks you to explain everything. See, how the thing has been created. The world was created, biblical narration is one thing. The world was created, scientific narration is a totally different thing. Different thing. And then you can see, science opening up to unexpected horizons. This tremendous activity, as you may already know it. Forces of materialism becoming triumphant. Forces of materialism means production, marketing and consuming. Consumerism, as we can see today. Everywhere he finds old things are retreating. Old values are retreating. As a thinking man concerned about future of the society, welfare of human beings, he was shuddering. A shudder caused by the uncultured, uncivilized life of the English people. Not all the English people, let's say 80%. The majority of them. Understand? You can see Dover Beach One of his famous poems, concluding lines towards the end of the poem, he says, no, and we are here, very famous lines there, we are here as on a darkling plain. I will write it for you. And we are here, and this will sum up the entire situation. This will sum up the political, the social, the industrial, the commercial, the religious and the educational. All the situations you can see in this. That is the one. This is the powerful lines written by Mathew. And we are here on a darkling plain. And we are here on a darkling plain. We are here on a darkling plain. Darkling plain must be a creation of the poet himself. Swept with confused alarm of struggle and flight. Swept with confused alarms of struggle and flight. Struggle and flight. You run away. Isn't it? Struggle and flight. And then he continues, where ignorant armies clash by night. Where ignorant armies clash by night. So this is the situation. And we are here on a darkling plain. No light, only darkness. Philistinism, barbarism. Barbarians and Philistines, 2/3 of the population, they have created a darkling plain. The country has been under the grip of darkness, the powers of darkness. Darkling plain. That is commercial, consumerism, selfishness. Then you have got the industrialization, natural industrialization. It is of course it is surrounded by again, surrounded and within also. Industrialization is a nucleus, we can say, of all kinds of corruption. From there grow all kinds of corruption. So that is, and science questioning religion. Old habits, old culture, old values are retreating. So, and we are here on a darkling plain, swept with confused alarms of struggle and flight. There is a sweeping influence. Swept with and total confusion. Alarms are heard from here and there. And what you have to do is, you have no other way but to take your flight. You cannot stand and listen. You cannot stand and give an answer. So what do? You run away. Flight. And then, where ignorant armies clash by night. Ignorant armies here means we people, not we, England. England of the Victorian period. So ignorant army, barbarians, populace, and not hopeless, populous. Yesterday also I told you. Then the so-called Philistines. So they are ignorant armies. They don't know. They don't know. They have no light. They have not come under the influence of sweetness. Sweetness and light. A combination of this, a confluence of sweetness of light, sweetness and light, a confluence of Hebraism and Hellenism, that is the harmonious, that will lead to the harmonious perfection of human being. The complete development of human being. Instead of that, we have got this total confusion, chaos. In a chaotic world, what can you do? Nothing. Suppose somebody says that, somebody gives you an alarm, saying that, see here, in your class, suppose class is going on, and somebody says that, hey, somebody is going to drop a bomb here, what will you do? Will you stand there and say, let me see who is going to bring the bomb? No. You will run away, and the running will be helter-skelter. So imagine, in these 3 lines, Mathew Arnold has given the entire situation. That horror, the wasteland situation, you can see. Already here you can find. So this is the answer to this is, according to Mathew Arnold, is culture. The great mass of people were in a condition of ignorance, squalor and brutality, exploitation. People were exploring how to exploit. As Bertrand Russell says, no, the strong will always bully the weak. This is the law of the jungle. This is the law of the jungle practiced by wild animals. Actually, that is being practiced in a world where Mathew Arnold lived. What about today? I don't know. I am nobody to make a comment on that. But we are not discussing today's condition. Today's condition may be better or worse, but we are not discussing that. What we are doing is the 18th century. So there he says, the mass of people were in a condition of ignorance, because not yet education. Middle class people, the children of the middle class were not given an opportunity to attend educational institutions. Therein comes the importance of Mathew Arnold and his father Thomas Arnold and the Cardinal Newman and Oxford movement. Understand that? So that is the point. You have to see the situation, and only then you will understand. Sorry, the condition of the people, the condition of England, and then you will see the relevance of culture. And what is the cure for this? According to Mathew Arnold, the cure is the best that is known and taught in the world. Spread, teach, preach, whatever word you want to use. The best that is known and the best, that this is the definition, that is known and taught in the world. And a free play of mind on all subjects which it touches. Understand? There should be a free play. Liberty is important. The central principles of cultural anarchy was already explicit in his essay on the function of criticism at the present time. Understand? The function of criticism is an essay, function of criticism at the present time. So that's an essay, it was already, in fact, present time. It was already explained. You could see the scope of this cultural anarchy. The central principles of cultural anarchy. Already explicit in this essay, the function of criticism at the present time. Understand? And then you find another two more points to remember about this great man, Oxford professor of poetry, is that he was an apostle. He was the missionary spirit, you can say, an apostle of equality. He was an apostle of equality. His essential liberalism, see, and his essential liberalism he preached, and he wanted that there should be no class differences. To do away with class differences. So that is also another point that he went around preaching. Because after all, ultimately, all these are geared to culture. And culture means harmonious development of, the complete development of man. So therefore, what happened, since he was a liberal, since he stood for equality, he did not believe in any ism. He was not any ist. What is ist means? He was not a member of any ist, like communist or socialist. Understand? He did not believe in any ism, because all isms restrict you. All isms confine you within an ideology. So then how can you become? All isms brainwash you. Therefore you cannot become a liberal. You cannot become liberal because to be liberal is to preach or to spread the idea of equality. To be liberal, then a classless society, and then that will take you to culture and harmonious development and free play of ideas. Understand? There is a criticism. The criticism is that Arnold's idea of culture is too bookish, too academic, too aloof. So this is a criticism. Of course, we are going to see the whole thing from sweetness and light on this. So too bookish, too academic, and too aloof. That's what it said. Critics said. Critics said his idea of culture is too bookish, too academic, and too aloof. This is what he said. Too academic and too aloof. What of that? That's maybe because he stood for what is best. The best that is thought and said. The best that is thought in the world, so to say. So that is maybe because of that. Some exclusiveness is there. This is the reason why you will see that already we have done in our class the who is that great man who said culture is ordinary? That is Raymond Williams. Yes. So it is Raymond Williams. He said culture is ordinary. It's because because of this. See, after keeping this in his mind, he said like this because Mathew Arnold's concept of culture is exclusive, bookish, academic, and aloof. But for Raymond Williams, everything is culture. If you make coffee, that is culture. Tea, culture. Take coffee, culture. Go to a coffee house, culture. Play football, culture. So that is it. Democratizing culture. You remember that we were discussing those days. He was against the park wall. You remember that? Park wall, park wall and things like that. So I hope that if you have just forgotten that, you can go through all those lectures that I have given you on Raymond Williams' idea of culture as ordinary. Culture is ordinary. So that about 5 lectures I have given, I am going through covering the entire essay. Culture is ordinary. So this is too bookish answer. To this, what does Mathew Arnold say? Mathew Arnold has an answer. He said, culture is an inward spiritual activity, not outward. Possessing car, possessing machines, possessing plenty of wealth, possessing lakhs of rupees, that is not culture. Or hypocrisy. Sometimes a decency. You sometimes what happens is, I have seen like this. Students, when they see their teachers, they say, oh, good morning, sir. And when the moment the teacher leaves, they will stand up and they imitate him and make fun of him and all those. That is not inward culture. That is outward culture, hypocrisy. So an inward spiritual activity, having for its characteristic, what is the characteristics of increased sweetness, increased light, increased life, increased sympathy. This is culture. Increased sweetness, then increased light, sweetness and light, increased light, increased life, and increased sympathy. This is culture. So how can you say it is too bookish, too academic, too aloof? Increased sweetness, increased light. Then increased sympathy, increased light. Then you have got increased, that is, you said sympathy, life. Life and light, light and life. And therefore, again, sympathy. Sympathy. So you cannot say it is bookish. You cannot say it is too aloof. You cannot say it is too academic. Cannot say. So that will be a wrong judgment on Mathew Arnold's conception of culture. So imagine what liberalism, not an ist, is not in any way tied down to an ist, and not a follower of any particular ist or ism. Then see those 4 words: light, sweetness, light, life, sympathy. For the harmonious development, for the harmonious and complete development of the human mind and the human body, Hebraism plus Hellenism. So what is the scope of this? What is this? The whole scope of this essay is to recommend culture as the great help or cure, we can say, out of our present difficulties. So if you have this condition here, what is the answer to this? What is the scope of the essay? The answer to this is culture. Culture is the answer to this situation. And what is culture? Increased the sweetness, increased light, increased life, increased sympathy. Full development. It has an inward. It is something that should take place inward, not outward. Not in your outward behavior, not in your outward amassing wealth and so on. I think now it is clear we have come to the end of the introduction. It's only an introduction. Introduction means I am giving you some idea about that. So you know about the age, you know about the essay, you know the complete name of the essay, you know the person. He was critic, he was religious thinker, he was educationist, then he was a profound religious thinker and a founder of education, criticism, modern criticism. Then we saw the condition of the world in which he lived, and for that what is his recommendation? The cure is culture, and what is culture is not just bookish, but not just ideas alone, but it's English light, etc. Some people criticize him, doesn't matter the scope of this is culture is the answer to this situation. That is, and we are here on a darkling plain, swept with confused alarms of struggle and flight. See the word used there, swept, like a tsunami. We have experienced a tsunami. We experienced a tsunami, isn't it? Years ago we experienced one. So that is not only just watching it on TV screen, but we have experienced in many parts of India. So this is like sweeping. So you can say swept with confused alarms of light. Where ignorant are misclassed by, they don't know what to do. A darkness, so they fight like that. The answer is culture. Okay? Is that clear to you? Fine? You are enjoying? I hope that you have understood what I have been telling you. And with that optimistic note, we will wind up for today, and we will see again in the next class. I will come with what is meant by sweetness and light, what is meant by Hebraism and Hellenism. These are the what is meant by poro unum est necessarium. See, these things we will see from the next class onwards. Stay, keep watching, subscribe if you haven't done it, so that you don't miss the updates. Along with this, I have also started another venture that is for your information. If you have got your brothers or sisters and so on studying in schools, I have started a tutorial. There is online tutorial on English grammar. The first class already I have posted. Now more will come. I plan to cover entire grammar, school and college grammar. So I just started with one only one, and as and when I get time, definitely along with this I will be posting those also. So if you know your friends, their children, your brothers, sisters, your friends, brothers, sisters, etc., you can advise them. If they let them watch 2 or 3 online tutorials, and if they are pleased with it, and if they can follow, they can continue with it. Otherwise, okay. Otherwise, why should I say? Why should I say don't watch it? That they will themselves do the work. The work will be done by them. Don't worry. But you can just share. Understand? Okay. So see you again. Have a nice time. Enjoy your life.